Hello, what's up on Horizons, episode 48 review. It's peak. The past couple of episodes are about Liko getting custom battles. It makes up for lost time with Roy getting two pretty fun battles here as he takes on his terrestrialization trial. So starting out incredibly excited by training with Fuecoco, not forgetting his goal to take on Rayquaza, they head to Artisan where they meet with Hassel, who takes him to meet Brassius again. It's really great to see him because he was a treat last time, and we get to know more about his life, like his connection with Hassel and having Liko's dad Alex come along for the art festival as well. He doesn't accept Roy's challenge despite his own curiosity about how Roy has grown since their last match, as he's got an art project to finish, and we get to see Roy's impatience as he begs to battle. We also get Nemona who shows up to battle him, finally giving us a match that we've had teased for ages now. We felt Roy's confidence more too, as Nemona says she won't use Terra because he can't, but Roy gives her the go-ahead. And then we get a pretty nice match. Portmore hits real strong, but Fuecoco does get some good hits in as it retaliates with disarming voice and flamethrower, impressing Nemona with how they've grown, but then it starts raining and where Roy doesn't really acknowledge it, as he's caught up in battle, losing to a dig and double shock as the rain weakens flamethrower so he can't fight back. Only after the loss does Roy notice that it's raining and downplays his loss because of the rain as Nemona comes over to say it was fun. His attitude catches Brassius' attention, who tells him that their battle will be on hold until Roy can figure out why he lost, and why he can't win in this situation. So with free time, Hassel suggests that they enter the art festival, and while Roy is saying he wants to battle, Liko pushes him to do this as he points out Fuecoco's interest in Brassius' project. And I think that's a great way to include her. It's a little push that gets Roy to chill out a little bit. So we get a section of this episode with the kids focusing on their projects. I really only go over Roy's as he tries to make a Charizard sculpture, and I really love how they work together for this as it matches the female project. They start sculpting clay together and it doesn't hold its shape. Brassius comes over and he doesn't give them the answer, but he gives them a clue that the clay they have isn't the only tool at their disposal. So anything can be a clue. Roy is confused what that means, but Fuecoco accidentally breathes some fire on the clay, which looks good and it holds its shape. And the two manage to make a pretty elite Charizard statue. Roy realises that this isn't only applicable to art, so when we go on to present their art pieces, Brassius sees it and realises that Roy's taking the lesson to heart and gives him a rematch. So we get to a match as Brassius sends out Sudowoodo, telling Roy his Sudowoodo is rock and becomes grass when terrestrializing, and understanding what that means. Basically, Roy has to find a way to get a terrestrialized Sudowoodo. So Roy starts with a ground move in the Stomping Tantrum. Not a bad plan really, but there's also a substitute to overcome, which gives Sudowoodo chances to attack with Stone Edge. Brassius is all ready to counter and asks if Roy's stuck. Roy's counter is to use Flamethrower, so Fuecoco spams it as Sudowoodo spam substitute. And Liko and Dot seem fairly convinced he has to change his strategy. But Fuecoco and Sudowoodo keep it up, with everyone doubting Roy and Fuecoco, so heat turns up quite literally. And Roy has a moment to find that hint and give him a victory, when he realises that Sudowoodo is sweating and substitute isn't because of the heat. So this lets him and Fuecoco accurately nail Sudowoodo with Stomping Tantrum. So now that Sudowoodo has been battled with super effective moves, Brassius uses Terrestrialization, so Roy responds in kind with an insanely cool quote, "Shine bright, crystallization of our dreams," with an amazing musical score, as Roy calls Fuecoco cool. Brassius goes to use his speed for advantage with Trail Blaze, not knowing that Roy had Flame Charge in the back, which he responds in kind with, overpowering Sudowoodo in head-on clash, and finishing off the battle with a Flamethrower as Sudowoodo is on the floor. And we do a really cool thing where we don't see a fainted Sudowoodo to know that Roy's won. We see Fuecoco lands as his Terra fades. Then we cut to a fainted Sudowoodo. Brassius concedes victory, asking how Roy got his advantage to figure out the real Sudowoodo, and calls Roy an artist worthy of terrestrialization. Dot thinks about how it's her turn next. Roy and Fuecoco hungry, they go to enjoy the festival. This episode is awesome, man. I'm definitely biased to Roy, but I like that it seems that every trial episode is going to be about observing a character for undressing it, with Liko learning how to live in the moment, and here it's about Roy basically learning how to take a bit more of a methodical role towards battling, throwing a history that Roy has with Brassius, and it makes you really want to root for him and his victory. I do feel like the Nemona battle is definitely something that can be setting up a future encounter with the two, creating a bit of a rivalry. But also served a really bit of a good role in getting Brassius to highlight a weakness within Roy, but also give Brassius his own advantage, having seen that Fuecoco knows Disarming Voice, while he already knows about Stomping Tantrum from their initial encounter. These are the kind of hints that Brassius would have used to defeat Roy, rendering their battle pointless until Roy learnt the lesson he learned. I also kind of like that it's telling Roy that it's pointless to battle Nemona again, and how that's also potentially the reason he didn't see Flame Charge, which is a move that Brassius got caught off guard with, and that was really the final trump card that Roy had. Just everything about Roy and Brassius' battle was amazing. The action, the presentation, from the animation to music, the terrestrialization. This is exactly the type of follow-up battle we should have had to their initial battle, and I'm so glad that Brassius could see how Roy changed and still has the experience to impart new wisdom on him. I also won't take credit for this, but I saw a tweet on this, so if I can see it, I'll put it on the screen or whatever. But you know, Roy's got a good knack for arts and crafts, and we've seen him make things here and there. This makes his matchup with Brassius feel even better. I didn't really touch on the art section outside of Roy's, But it's fun to see Liko's Pokemon helping her out and have her get inspiration from them helping. And I also like that Terrapagos is included among her other Pokemon. Dot also realises that she can do something interesting with the help of her friend's Pokemon when she borrows Wattrel. On top of that, it gives a really solid second act as Roy learns an important lesson. Also, how fun is it that this is the first time Roy and Brassius battled he learned to watch his Pokemon, now he's learned to keep an eye open for advantages. That's just neat. So all in all, I thought this episode was fantastic. Brassius was a wonderful choice to be an assessor for Roy, and it was great seeing him again, with great storytelling, action and presentation. This is a fantastic episode.